You order something online, the confirmation email arrives, then the tracking link, and suddenly your entire brain has one job: check if it moved. You look once, then again 10 minutes later. Still nothing. Somehow, waiting for a package now feels longer than an entire workday. So why does time slow down the moment you really want something? Because your brain does not experience time like a clock. It experiences time through attention, expectation, and uncertainty. Waiting activates all three at once. When you want something badly, your attention locks onto it. A reply, a delivery, a test result, a decision, a countdown. Your mind keeps circling the same question: is it here yet? And the more closely you monitor time, the slower it feels. That is why an hour can disappear while you are busy. But 5 minutes in a waiting room can feel strangely long. The clock did not change. Your attention did. Psychologists call this subjective time perception. Time feels faster when your mind is absorbed. It feels slower when your mind is watching the wait itself. But impatience is not only about attention, it is also about anticipation. When something desirable feels close, your brain starts enjoying it before it happens. You picture opening the package, reading the reply, seeing the result, finally getting certainty. Your brain begins leaning into the reward early. That is why the last part of a wait often feels worst. If a package arrives next week, you accept it. But if it says out for delivery, every extra minute becomes irritating. Because mentally, part of you has already claimed it. Then reality says, not yet. And that gap creates frustration. There is another reason waiting can feel so intense. Your brain hates uncertainty. A fixed wait is easier. If someone says, I will call you at 6, your mind can mostly let go. But if they say, I will call you later, you stay half alert. You keep checking. You keep wondering. You never fully move on. That is why waiting for a vague text reply can feel much worse than waiting for an appointment with a clear time. The pain is not always the delay itself. Sometimes it is the lack of closure. You want to know, did they like the message? Did I get accepted? Will this work out? Is the answer yes or no? Your mind would often rather get a clear, disappointing answer than remain suspended in uncertainty. Unresolved tension is tiring. That is what makes some waits feel emotionally heavy. You are not just passing time. You are carrying an open loop. Part of your attention stays trapped there until the answer arrives. This is also why checking constantly usually backfires. Refreshing the app. Opening your inbox. Looking at the tracking page. Checking whether someone is online. It feels like control, but most of the time it simply reminds your brain you still do not have what you want. Each check pulls the weight back into focus. And whatever your attention keeps returning to starts to feel bigger. A watched pot does not literally boil slower, but psychologically it absolutely can feel that way. So what helps? First, give the wait a boundary. Instead of thinking, I'll just see if they replied, decide I'm not checking again for 1 hour. Instead of tracking the package all afternoon, choose one time to look. This matters because vague waiting keeps your mind open. A boundary helps close it, at least temporarily. Second, redirect your attention into something that actually absorbs you. Not a half distraction, and not scrolling while still checking every few minutes. Choose something immersive enough to make you forget the wait for a while. Go for a walk, cook a meal, do a focused task, have a real conversation. Pick anything that takes your mind off the clock. Because the goal is not to magically speed up time, the goal is to stop staring at it. Third, ask yourself this question: do I want the thing, or do I want the waiting to be over? That question reveals a lot. Sometimes the package matters, sometimes the reply matters, but sometimes the strongest urge is simply to escape uncertainty. Once you notice that, the feeling becomes easier to name. You can tell yourself, this is not an emergency. My brain just wants closure. And that distinction creates space. Because impatience feels urgent, But urgency is not always a signal to act. Sometimes it is just your mind reacting badly to delay. So, the next time waiting feels unbearable, remember, time itself has not slowed down. Your attention narrowed. Your expectation rose. Your brain started chasing certainty. That is why 1 minute can feel like 10. And the more badly you want the moment to arrive, the longer the moment before it seems to last. If you enjoyed this video and want to understand more of the hidden mental patterns behind everyday behavior, consider subscribing to Mind Habits. Because the more you understand how your mind works, the easier it becomes to stop repeating the same patterns.